It costs that much cause it takes me fucking hours. Fucking hours. It costs that much cause I don't have superpowers. Superpowers. So you need to pay for my skills cause exposure doesn't pay the bills. It costs that much cause it takes me fucking hours. You need to pay for my skills cause exposure doesn't pay the bills. It costs that much cause it takes me fucking hours.
It's a book you can't read by an author that nobody knows. Tonight, we'll be talking about the book that people have been trying to decipher for decades. It's the Voynich Manuscript. Tonight on Mundus Ultra.
Well, if there's a good thing.
All right, good evening, everybody. It's Uncle Warren here. We do this thing. Yeah, that's me. I'm that jerk. Everybody knows. If you want to get a hold of me, all my links are right here. Donation links to platforms, all that stuff. And if you have an idea for the show, you got some sort of cool like cool cryptid in your neck of the woods, or you got a UFO story or something like that, you can email me at mundusultra@gmail. It's mundusultra@gmail.com. Or if we're buddies on Twitter, hit me up in my DMs. And yeah, give me as much information as you can, and we'll take a look at it. So always looking for new and cool things to do. That's right, Jimmy. Let's go. I know you're saying let's go, but it's saying less goo. Does that have anything to do with the Five Guys reference from earlier today? Inside joke. Shelly, good to see you. I have a few UFO stories too. Yes, I have your pictures that you sent me too. I'm going to take a look at those a little more in depth. Maybe do something on orbs in the future. When we have flying cars. So yeah, lots of good stuff there. Appreciate all the support and everything that you guys do. You noticed there, Pacheco Roan is now one of our new producers here for ExtraBulla and Mundus Ultra too. So we thank them for that, and all our producers too, and everybody who likes and shares and subscribes. Oh, speaking of which, gotta get this guy in here. What the hell? Oh no! Why didn't I get that car tuned up? Why am I driving a 70s van? Anyway, so if you like what you see, please like it. If you don't like it, hit the thumbs down too. We were just, we take honesty around here. It's all good. But if you do like it, share it out. Tell your friends. Thanks, Cal. Tell all your buddies. There's this weirdo doing UFO stories on the internet. That's all you got to say, and they'll come running. Mary Ann Williams of Orbs episode. Now, let me just say that orbs are not crystals, and crystals are not orbs. Okay, so that was my Mary Ann Williams impression. Kate, good to see you. We got some of our producers here. Les Bones is here. Rick is here. Good to see you. And Shelly and Miss Jimmy, of course. How you doing, sweetheart? Debbie Dabs, good to see you. Like I said, Pacheco's here. Screw Google. Good to see ya. hopefully all y'all are having a wonderful and blessed evening. I said blessed like I was like I was an evangelical or something. Well, I just hope you have a blessed evening. So anyway, that's not what you're here for. You're here to talk. We're here to talk about the Voynich Manuscript. Now, what is the Voynich Manuscript? Well, that's a good question. We can kind of take a look at this real quick. We have a video. I can do video if it's one person. If it's just me, we couldn't do video last night, and I was very disappointed in that. But we still had a great show on the Secret Show last night, me and Miss Jimmy. So, she really saved our bacon there. Sam Cedar is king. Good to see you. Good to see everybody here. Oh, Shelly, you're standing out without a wrench. Yeah, I give out I give out wrenches around here like doctors give out candy to babies. What's up, Dingo? Good to see you. Hey, gamer. So here we are. Let's talk about this real quick. This is the Voynich Manuscript. Actually, this is a video, just kind of like describing it, and then we can go into detail with some of the other stuff. So let me pull this up here. This is from Stephen Bax, is responsible for this video. So let's bring this up here and check it out.
Deep inside Yale University's Beinecke Rare Book and Manuscript Library lies the only copy of a 240-page tome. Recently carbon dated to around 1420, its vellum pages feature looping handwriting and hand-drawn images seemingly stolen from a dream. Real and imaginary plants, floating castles, bathing women, astrology diagrams, zodiac rings, and suns and moons with faces accompany the text. This 24 by 16 centimeter book is called the Voynich Manuscript, and it's one of history's biggest unsolved mysteries. The reason why? No one can figure out what it says. The name comes from Wilfred Voynich, a Polish bookseller who came across the document at a Jesuit college in Italy in 1912. He was puzzled. Who wrote it? Where was it made? What do these bizarre words and vibrant drawings represent? What secrets do its pages contain? He purchased the manuscript from the cash-strapped priest at the college and eventually brought it to the US, where experts have continued to puzzle over it for more than a century. Cryptologists say the writing has all the characteristics of a real language, just one that no one's ever seen before. What makes it seem real is that in actual languages, letters and groups of letters appear with consistent frequencies, and the language in the Voynich manuscript has patterns you wouldn't find from a random letter generator. Other than that, we know little more than what we can see. The letters are varied in style and height. Some are borrowed from other scripts, but many are unique. The taller letters have been named gallows characters. The manuscript is highly decorated throughout with scroll-like embellishments. It appears to be written by 2 or more hands, with the painting done by yet another party. Over the years, 3 main theories about the manuscript's text have emerged. The first is that it's written in cipher, a secret code deliberately designed to hide secret meaning. The second is that the document is a hoax, written in gibberish. In that case, the Voynich manuscript might be like...
I fucked up. I was going to reference the Christmas story reference here. If I can get back to it. Where was it? Yeah. So be sure to drink your Ovaltine. So just a sidebar. In the Christmas story, he has the decoder ring that he gets in the mail, and he finally gets to decode the secret message, and it says, be sure to drink your Ovaltine. Just a little side note there for you Christmas story fans. Anyway.
The second is that the document is a hoax, written in gibberish to make money off a gullible buyer. Some speculate the author was a medieval con man, others that it was Voynich himself. The third theory is that the manuscript is written in an actual language, but in an unknown script. Perhaps medieval scholars were attempting to create an alphabet for a language that was spoken, but not yet written. In that case, the the Voynich Manuscript might be like the Rongo Rongo script invented on Easter Island, now unreadable after the culture that made it collapsed. Though no one can read the Voynich Manuscript, that hasn't stopped people from guessing what it might say. Those who believe the manuscript was an attempt to create a new form of written language speculate that it might be an encyclopedia containing the knowledge of the culture that produced it. Others believe it was written by the 13th century philosopher Roger Bacon, who attempted to understand the universal laws of grammar. Or in the 16th century, by the Elizabethan mystic John Dee, who practiced alchemy and divination. More fringe theories hold that the book was written by a coven of Italian witches, or even by Martians. After 100 years of frustration, scientists have recently shed a little light on the mystery. The first breakthrough was the carbon dating. Also, contemporary historians have traced the provenance of the manuscript back through Rome and Prague to as early as 1612, when it was perhaps passed from Holy Roman Emperor Rudolph II to his physician Jacobus Sinapius. In addition to these historical breakthroughs, linguistic researchers recently proposed the provisional identification of a few of the manuscript's words. Could the letters beside these 7 stars spell Tarun, a name for Taurus, a constellation that includes the 7 stars called the Pleiades? Could this word be Centauron, for the centurion plant in the picture? Perhaps, but progress is slow. If we can crack its code, what might we find? The dream journal of a 15th century illustrator? A bunch of nonsense? Or the lost knowledge of a forgotten culture? What do you think it is?
I have no clue. Who did that? So it's a big mystery, right? So you have this book, the language. Every year it seems like some egghead has come out and said, we've broken the code. We translated it's Middle Earth, it's Hobbit, it's half orc and Hobbit language written in Klingon, or some shit like that. And then the theory goes nowhere, and basically this person who says, Eureka, I've solved it, sits down and has a quiet cry to themselves. Yeah, so I know this particular book has always fascinated me, because I always thought, okay, yeah, it could be legit. It could be maybe like some ancient civilization that had created this. See, that's the thing. So the carbon dating says it's from the paper, and I think the ink too. I think they carbon dated the ink too. Is all from 1420, right? So 603 years ago that the book was written and created, I should say, with the artistry and the pictures and stuff. So there's several options what this could have been, and we're going to go over some theories that some of these eggheads had as to what the language is. We'll get to that later in the show, but the thing about it is there's a few options that we have here. So this was like something that was totally made up. The first internet troll 600 years ago, that we know of. That's how far back that book goes. But who's to say that it's not a transcription from an older text too? So kind of like the how some of the maps, the Piri Reis maps have Antarctica on there long before Antarctica was actually discovered. It may be one of those things, so this could have been something that somebody found, transcribed it, verbatim from the text that they saw. Maybe it's an old ancient civilization that was that used this as sort of a guidebook and then was lost to history somehow. It was picked up somewhere later down the road. Nobody knew what it was. Or it's an elaborate hoax. I mean, and to go to that effort to pretty much invent a language and come up with all this crazy stuff in there. I mean, that's some 21st century shit. Uh, trolling right there, but done in the 15th century. Yeah, there are a lot lost languages too, Shelley. And this could be one of them. So, uh, let's see, we have some more stuff here. I always try to get as much information as I can because, I do it for the children. I do it to educate. So maybe we could get a little more information from here. If you can, do me a favor in the chat. If you could type 1 if you've actually heard of the Voynich Manuscript before, and type 2 if you've never heard of it before. That would kind of be interesting to see. But let me get this set up real quick. So this is the strange quest to crack the Voynich code, right? And here are a lot of the pictures here. So this basically, this is coming from undark.org. So we're just going to kind of look a little bit at some of this stuff here, see if it gives us any more information. So like they said, the manuscript was acquired in 1912 by Wilfrid Voynich. He was a Polish rare book dealer. And this book is, like I said, it's small. It's like 220 pages. Kind of like the size of a paperback novel. Not that big, but yet chock full of information, and they have the little foldy pages in there too. We're gonna get to some of the images that's in there too. So Shelley said one, obviously, yeah. Shelley, you probably heard of all these things. Dingo says it is Tatarian. Okay. Is that like tartar sauce? Oh wait, that's Tartarian. Sorry, never mind. So there was some controversy about this book because some people were thinking that Voynich himself had actually written this book, but the only way he could have done that is if he'd gotten paper, if he'd gotten I guess at the time like 500-year-old paper and 500-year-old ink to really sell it. But at the same time, he didn't really sell it. I mean, it is for sale. You can buy it from the Yale bookstore. That's where it's at right now. But still, to go to all that trouble for maybe like long gain, that is a long game. 100 years from 1912, whenever he got the book, that is a long game to say, yeah, this thing is for real. Because even he didn't know. He was just a collector of books. Is that the same geographical region of Nikola Tesla, and he tapped into something otherworldly too? I want to say not Poland. Tesla was out of I think he was Serbian or Croatian. I can't, one of the two. But that's where he came from. And there's nudie ladies in here too. So let me get back to this thing real quick. It's amazing that this thing hasn't been totally called a hoax by like certain people, because usually this kind of thing is like, well, it's probably fake, but people still keep looking at this book. They still keep studying it. They still keep trying to figure out what the language is in it. Oh yeah, Eastern Europe. Yes. Yeah. So Poland, Poland, Croatia. Yeah. That whole Eastern Bloc area. It's a very weird area too, especially when you start getting into Russia too, and you're getting into the Ural Mountains. That's when you start talking about Dyatlov Pass. We'll talk about that in an upcoming episode in the future too. Rick talking about the time traveling pervert, the pervert wizard. A book from Merlin. Interesting. Yeah, so yeah, Bosnian pyramids. There's the Chinese pyramids too, that the Chinese are not letting people poke around in too much either. So but back to this, we've got some of the so what some of the critics of the book are saying. So this is from Inverse, and so like we said, it took its name from Wilfred Voynich. Some scholars have argued that the text is gibberish, the document an elaborate hoax, while others have variously claimed that the underlying language is Latin or one of the Romance languages or Hebrew. I don't know. I've seen Hebrew. That doesn't look like Hebrew to me. Unless it's some sort of, hey, Brandy, what's going on? Unless it's some sort of bastardized version of Hebrew that I've never seen. I mean, I'm not a Hebrew scholar. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not like an expert, but I mean, I've seen Hebrew before, and I don't know. It could be a mixture of Hebrew with something else. It could be Hebrew mixed with an extraterrestrial language too. Dun dun dun. And so in 2018, a pair of researchers, citing the apparent similarity of some of the manuscript's plant illustrations to the flora of Central America, claimed that the manuscript was produced by the ancient Aztecs. So everybody's got a theory when it comes to this book. And like we said, none of these claims have gained widespread acceptance, including the fact that it's a fake. Yeah, it doesn't even, yeah, exactly, Shelley. It doesn't even look related to Hebrew. It could be, I don't know. Like I said, it could be a hodgepodge of different languages and different scripts put together. I mean, even, okay, so let's say it's not a hoax. Let's say it is for real. And also, we also have the poll up here. If you want to take the poll, please do. Is the Voynich manuscript legit? You can vote real deal or phony baloney. If you want to wait till after today's show to vote, or towards the end of the show, you could do that as well, as we get more information on this. So there's a section with the bathing nymphs. That's the 800-pound gorilla in the room. What's up with the naked chicks? So the section with the bathing nymphs is often called the balneological section, a reference to the science of baths and bathing. So in a book with like plants, most of over half the book is about plants, right? So you would think this is some sort of either like a, I don't know, like some sort of environmental type study book, or if it's like for medicine. I think they have medicine in there too. We'll go over what's in there shortly. There's the pharmaceutical section depicts what may be herbal remedies, plant roots alongside medicine bottles, and a fifth section, unillustrated, has blocks of text demarcated with little stars. I hope you get feeling better, Brandy. Yeah, it sucks to be sick. I've been having to deal with a little bit of illness myself, but these changing temperatures will do that to you. So this is an interview with Yale linguist Claire Bowen, right? So they were talking to her about the inverse.com was talking to her about the Voynich manuscript. It's like, do we know where the manuscript came from or who created? So we don't know. She says, we don't know at all. We know that the manuscript was in Prague in the early 1600s. And from there, it went to the library of the Jesuit scholar Athanasius Kircher, and presumably stayed there until it ended up in a Jesuit archive outside of Rome, where Voynich found it around 1911 or 1912. And one of the reasons why they think maybe Voynich himself wrote it, he shrouded the manuscript in mystery. He was never clear in his lifetime about where it came from. He said he found it in a castle, but that seems like he was trying to be unclear about where he got it. Well, if you find it, I mean, you just say, I found it in a castle. Well, which castle? You'll have to ask me in the next life another question. So, I know, where's Yona when we need him? Was he trying to increase the price he could get by creating an air of mystery around it, or what was he up to? Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, he's a collector of books. I'm pretty sure he was trying to sell it too, if he could get some decent coin for it. Uh, but there's also a question of whether he got the manuscript legit himself. He received a number of manuscripts from the Jesuit archives, and it wasn't quite clear whether they knew that this manuscript was part of it, or whether the person who was selling the manuscript had the authority to do so. So that in itself, the acquisition of the book was over 100 years ago. So who knows? So this linguist is saying that she's pretty comfortable saying this is an early 15th century object. We get that from the carbon dating, which puts it between 1404 and 1438. The ink is typical of what was used in that time period. The clothing of the figures and the illustrations and so on are all consistent with that time period. Of course, it could be a copy or even earlier material, just as we have modern paperbacks of Shakespeare, but the plays themselves go back hundreds of years. That's what I was saying. Like, this could be a transcription from a much, much older text. And this is just the most recent surviving text. Yeah, great calligraphy is a lost art. It really is. I used to have a calligraphy set too, and make those fancies, but people don't do that anymore. Now you just do it on a computer. Boring. So they ask her, they said, why would someone in those days create a ciphered manuscript? She says people in the medieval period probably acted from similar sorts of motivations to people these days. So why do people encipher things in general? You know, that's like kind of like encrypting information these days, right? So put it inside a code. But why put it in a code? I mean, why would you not want people to know what this information is, especially if it has some positive health attributes to it too? But like I said, we know very little about this book. We don't know enough to debunk it. We don't know enough to prove its authenticity. It's quite strange, to be honest with you. She says one theory that's come up, which she's not sure she buys into, is that this was witchcraft, or it was a manuscript that contained information that the Catholic Church didn't want to get out. Now that second part, I don't know about witchcraft, but that second part, we all know the Catholic Church done some serious censoring over the centuries. But that strikes me rather more as a Dan Brown scenario than something that might have actually happened. Now, well, the witchcraft thing, I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't consider that a Dan Brown situation. Like, I mean, it could have had some stuff like, you know, like several decades ago, we could have had electric cars, but it was killed by the by the fossil fuel industries, right? So maybe there was something in there. It could have been something alien in there that disproved maybe the story of Jesus, or, you know, undercut the relevance of Christianity of itself. I mean, yeah, that's kind of a stretch. You would think this book would be more famous because of that, but it could have been one of those things that somebody wrote and somebody in the church said, no, I can't go for that. No can do. And had it encoded. I don't think so. I think that is an original language. To me personally, my spidey senses, the naked ladies could represent a constellation too. Yeah. We're gonna let's in fact let's do that. Let's go ahead and get into some of these photos. I think that's pretty much all that interview I wanted to show this with this linguist anyway, from Yale, that was taking a look at this too. Fascinating stuff. So now we're gonna get into the images here, and these are pretty wild. This is from Live Science, in case you hadn't figured that out. The images of the unreadable medieval book. Okay, so this is a few years old. So you have this image here, which I find this one this, let me take a look at what it says underneath here real quick. The Voynich Manuscript has eluded interpretation for a century. It was written in Central Europe in the 15th century and rediscovered by an antique book dealer in 1912. Despite intense scrutiny, no one has been able to read the mysterious script. So the nymphs, the naked ladies, what we can see here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. 7 being a powerful number in numerology. Just throwing that out there. Not saying it's related, but could be. But look at this contraption here. So this looks like water. It's this bluish, it looks like a bluish liquid is flowing in here, but they are surrounded by green, which it doesn't make any sense. And you see here, it looks like it's almost like these things are going through filters, right? That you got this fluid that's going through here, going through here, going through like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on one side. And then this other, on the other side, on the right side, is kind of interesting because you have this fluid coming out of what looks like a pine cone or something like that. Oh, are those supposed to represent the 7 continents? Maybe. Like I said, this is from the 1400s, so we should have well been the 7 continents should have been well established, except for Antarctica, I believe. So now looking at this here too, you have these. One of the central themes in here is like everything in these circles, right? Like the circle is highlighting what's on the inside here. You have these various patterns that what does it mean? These look like it's very intricate designs, particularly here in the middle. But is it something like this top image here on the left? You have kind of what looks like a road going to this one here. The circle at the bottom. In the middle here, you have the blue pinwheel and what looks like it's emptying out into this circle down below. And on the right, you kind of have something similar, something inside this circle, and then this connection to this second circle here in the middle. And you see it go through the various patterns here down below. But what does it mean? They do look like portals. At least the pinwheel ones too do. Well, the ones on the left here kind of look like this one at the top left here kind of resembles a Stargate a little bit. And then you have like what looks like scrolls on the outside there. It could be Shelley, it could be a different a civilization from a different dimension. They managed to I think a couple of people managed to translate 10 words, or one researcher said that he was able to decipher 10 words and 14 characters in the text, including the word coriander. So I guess it's in reference to this plant here. A long lost cult language. It could be. It could be. So juniper, they managed to translate juniper out of it. So this was from Stephen. This was the information that was from the video we saw. So Stephen Bax, a professor of applied linguistics at the University of Bedfordshire in England, said he used the same approach that scholars had previously used to decipher Egyptian hieroglyphics and other texts, which involves first identifying proper names for things like plants and stars. So now one of these, like this particular one right here, we see it has the sun. It's supposed to be the sun in the middle, and it has like a human face on there. What Bax is thinking is that that this was a what do they call that, with the 12 signs of the zodiac, I guess that's what's called, the zodiac. that they managed to get Taurus, or was it Taurin that they got out of it? So Centauro. A lot of these plants that are in this book, nobody knows what they are, right? So this could be, here's some more like portal-like looking objects here. I don't know if you remember Star Trek the Motion Picture. I know Jimmy hasn't watched it because Jimmy's not cool like us Star Trek nerds. Live long and prosper. In Star Trek the Motion Picture, there's a part where Mr. Spock is in the space chair, and he's about to go through this opening that's going into V'ger, right? And it kind of looks like this middle image right here with the blue flower in the middle, right? That's something that it's one of those, it twists open, you know, and then as it closes shut like that, where it's not like your normal square door. That's what it kind of reminds me of a little bit. That on the right there too. I haven't looked at these. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 blades on there. 32 if you split up the white and the black and the blue there. And but these, you see stars, right? So are these constellations? Like this blue star, is this a wormhole to another galaxy or to another solar system, right? Are any of these wormholes? That could be information that the church would want to keep under wraps, that there's portals to other dimensions. So yeah, this is one of the foldouts in the book. Pretty interesting stuff there. And we're going to look at the plants here in just a second too. Some of the plants there. What do we got here? But first we want to talk about who had their dirty little mitts on this book over the years. So let's take a look there. So this is a history of the collection. This is coming from the Beinecke Library at Yale, where the Voynich Manuscript is currently being held. Like its contents, the history of ownership of the Voynich Manuscript is contested and filled with some gaps. The codex belonged to Emperor Rudolf II of Germany, the Holy Roman Emperor from 1576 to 1612, who purchased it for 600 gold ducats, and believed that it was the work of Roger Bacon, Kevin Bacon's much older brother. Rick says a cult that actually achieved creating portals. And maybe this was this cult, or maybe this advanced society created these portals and then just said peace out. They all left. That's probably why. Maybe that's why you don't see any traces of them anymore. They just bugged the fuck out. And then maybe left like some sort of book behind to say, like, you know, hope you fuckers can figure it out. Good luck, suckers. So anyway, it's very likely that Emperor Rudolf acquired the manuscript from the English astrologer John Dee, who lived from 1527 to 1608. Dee apparently owned the manuscript along with a number of other Roger Bacon manuscripts. In addition, Dee stated that he had 630 ducats. I really hope I'm saying that right. In October 1586, and his son noted that Dee, while in Bohemia, owned a, quote, a book containing nothing but B-U-T-T hieroglyphics, which book his father bestowed much time upon, but I could not hear that he could make it out. Emperor Rudolf seems to have given the manuscript to Jacobus Horsicki de Tepanex. Jesus, these names. No wonder this. You can't read the book. You can't read these names. An exchange based on the inspiration visible only with ultraviolet light on folio 1R, which reads Jacobi de Tepenix. Johannes Marcus Marci of Kronlin presented the book to Athanasius Kircher in 1666. That's an unfortunate year. In 1912, Wilfrid Voynich purchased the manuscript from the Jesuit College at Frascati near Rome. So it says here he bought it from the Jesuit College, but he said he also got it from a castle too. Maybe the Jesuit College was in a castle. In 1969, the codex was given to the Benecki Library by H.P. Krauss, who had purchased it from the estate of Ethel Voynich, Wilfrid's widow. So this thing's been handed down a bunch. It is so it could be in a way like the Bible. Where that's passed through several hands over the centuries too. James Magruder on the Rockfin and Denver Attaway too. Good to see you. James says D was a learned and renowned bullshitter. A bit like Jay Dyer, but more interesting and intelligent. Okay. Fair enough. And like I said, 600 years at least since this thing has been around, and it's fooled so many people. And it's, like I said, if it's trolling, it is the greatest trolling effort in history. Talk about a long game. Jesus Christ, talk about a long game. So what are some of the theories as to what this is from some of these eggheads? So looking at the Voynich theories, this is from ciphermysteries.com. So let's pull that up and take a look at that as well. So you have here, if you ever found yourself asking where I found out about XYZ's moderately loopy but eerily hard to disprove Voynich manuscript theory, then you've come to the right place. Well, good. The longest list of such theories on the internet. So Tim Ackerson is quite sure that the Voynich manuscript was written in early Welsh or Old Cornish from the 7th to 8th century AD. Like I said, this could quite possibly be something that had been transcribed from something much older. So Zbigniew Banasek claimed that it was written in the Manchu language. That is interesting. I've never heard of the Manchu language. Robert S. Brombaugh came to various conclusions, many of which hinged on his interpretations of the short number columns on F49R. I believe that's one of the pages, such as that it was a 16th century cipher or later a 16th century fake of a 15th century cipher. Either way, Brumbaugh thought the alphabet was a lossy number cipher, with each glyph basically standing in for an Arabic numeral. Dan Burish claims that it was written down in enciphered Hebrew by Roger Bacon, and that it describes some kind of alien technology from the future for creating DNA with sound. Let me repeat that. He believes they were written down in enciphered Hebrew by Roger Bacon, and that it describes some kind of alien technology from the future. So do we have time travel now in the mix too? Interesting stuff. Jim Child, an Indo-European linguist who has been studying the manuscript since the late 70s, sees Voynichese, that's the unofficial name of the language, Voynichese, which sounds like some sort of cheese, as a pronounceable early German language. Jim Comegys believes it was a medical book written in Nahuatl, the language of the Aztec, possibly by Francisco Hernandez, and has written a book describing his claim. Here's a familiar name. Eric von Daniken covers the Voynich Manuscript in his 2009 book, History is Wrong, linking it with the Book of Enoch and a whole load of other things. Yeah, that's true. Eric von Daniken is all about some Enoch, especially the Book of Enoch. If you listen to Eric von Daniken, he will tell you that the Book of Enoch should have been in the Bible at the Council of Nicaea, but it was taken out because it was too true and people would have went crazy. Okay, I'm just kind of making up that he said that stuff, but he was probably thinking it. So, and there's others here too. Joseph Martin Feely's constructed what he believed to be a partial decipherment of page F78R, but his claimed clues and his mangled Latin failed to convince any cryptologist. So that's the thing. It's like people take a crack at it, and then they think they might have that aha moment, and then ends up they just end up falling on their face because they can't prove any of it. James Finn, Big Jim's theory that it was written in Hebrew and warns of a coming end time. William Friedman proposed that the manuscript is written in an artificial language, not unlike Dalgarno's real character. Jacques Guy, Beatrice Gwynn from Dublin thinks it's a 16th century hygiene manual written in left-right mirrored Middle High German. I mean, it does have a lot of references to women in it, so maybe it could have been like, some sort of informational book for women. Maybe it was written by women. Quite possible. Wayne Herschel is certain that the star disc on page F68R3 of the manuscript is a hidden record of a golden plate with secret writing given to Judas by Jesus. Interesting. George Hoskell Jr. Says it's some kind of strange recipe book. So yeah, there are like these are like wild claims, and people, like I said, every year people say, yeah, we solved it, and then you're like, no, you didn't. You did not. Stop with the lies. Miguel Lahunkun, a notorious internet poster, I've never heard of that person, claimed to have decrypted the VMs in a Google Groups post. Rick says, I could see the church banning the book if it doesn't flow with what we want to put out there. Maybe Jesus Lost Weekend. And yeah. Miguel. No, no, you're thinking Lesbo. You're thinking of Miguel H. Not Miguel L. I mean, could it be some sort of, all right, here, you want to hear something far-fetched. Let's see. You want, as was it Michael Keaton said in Batman, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. This is why I think. So it was an alien language, and it was written by aliens. It was given to one person or like a very small number of people. I say, here, hang on to this. You're going to be the keepers of the knowledge. And then the church got a hold of it and said, we don't want that knowledge getting out. So did they put their own little, Vatican code on it? Who knows? But it's just fascinating that it's been shrouded. It's just the fact that no one's been able to decipher it. But no one seems to believe that it's a fake either. Right? What is it? I mean, okay. I obviously I've never lived in the 1400s. I'm pretty old, but I'm not that old. I would think people, yeah, there were people there were silly people back then, but I don't think there was something, people have time. Who would have the time to put in all this work for a hoax, right? Oh, you think I'm getting warm, Rick? Maybe. I don't know. It just seems like it seems to me like there's information in this book that could probably help humanity, but is being like hidden and encoded to where humanity can't get to it. Gamer says modern technology probably came from aliens. Well, there was like a huge jump in technology around the time of the 40s, right? Roswell and Kenneth Arnold seeing all the spaceships up there in the Northwest, the flying saucers, as he coined the phrase. So who knows? So maybe this book is uncrackable. Like maybe the code is uncrackable. Maybe it would have to take some sort of alien race to come to our planet to say, yes, this is our language and this is what this means. Right? Hidden secrets in plain sight, of course. And people these days, even the people who have the time to dedicate to solving the puzzle, even with the best like encryption programs and stuff that we have today, code breaking software and information, I just find I'm just very torn, right? It's like I want to believe it's real, but it doesn't seem like it's real because the language resembles nothing like anybody's ever seen. So that would mean it would probably be a fake, but is it really a fake? I'm going to say it was aliens. I'm pretty sure it was aliens. So everything's aliens at this point. It was either aliens or a very ancient, highly advanced society that disappeared, or maybe disappeared themselves. Maybe they knew about maybe some of those images are talking about stargates, right? Although the images themselves are pretty detailed. So you would think a stargate, they would get it somewhat detailed, right? Although technically we don't know what a fucking stargate looks like. We just see it from the movies and the TV show. It could be anything. There's was it Göbekli Tepe down in, no, that's in Turkey. There's a place in South America, in Central America, I think. And the name is right on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, there's like finely cut blocks that fit together perfectly, no hardly any seam, and these things are like thousands of years old. So how did they have a laser torch back then? So so the technology of the past is a huge mystery. I believe there were highly advanced civilizations in the past. Was there Atlantis? Was there Lemuria or Mu? Yeah, why not? What's up, Anthony? Good to see you. I think it was Tiahuanaca. I want to say it was in South America somewhere. I think it's Tiahuanaca is where I'm talking about. I can't remember exactly where it is, but I think it's somewhere in South America. But fascinating stuff there. The Voynich Manuscript. I highly recommend going down the rabbit hole. Although we've covered like a lot of the stuff that you're going to find in the rabbit hole anyway on this show. So why do you need any more? Of course you need more. If you want to know more about this stuff, please look up some of these subjects and do your own research on it too. You'll find a lot of it to be super fascinating. And who knows, maybe just drop me a line sometime and say, hey, look, I've looked into this. Maybe I found some more information that you didn't cover. And we can do that. We can revisit a lot of these topics too. So Shelley said, I believe that, yeah, it's Peru. Yeah. Where the Nazca line, but that's also where the Nazca lines are. The Nazca lines are in Peru too. The lines where you see like the animal shapes and stuff, but you can only see it if you're flying in an airplane. So why the hell would they make it on the ground if nobody could see it? That's another one we can talk about. So I'm pretty sure Shelley and I are going to be hooking up on a lot of this information. She's probably going to be feeding me a lot of cool stuff to talk to you guys about too. Hell, maybe we'll get her on here too. If she wants to, if she ain't shy. So, it was the people before the Incans too. Yeah, that's a whole nother subject too. Like the hidden jungles down in the Amazon, the hidden temples and lost civilizations down in the Amazon. The Amazon, you could do just a whole subject on the Amazon itself. So, but anyway, I've used up enough of your time today. So, hopefully you enjoyed that subject. And like I said, you can always drop me a line at Mundus Ultra, just the name of the show, at gmail.com, or if we're friends on Twitter, you can send me a message there. I'm Jonathan Dearman on Facebook because I'm shady like that. So if you're on Facebook and you want to send me a message there too, feel free. So I want to thank everybody, Rick and Shelley and Kate and Les Bones and Gamer and Anthony, and I know Pacheco was here, and Rick, and Brandy, Dingo, who else? Debbie Dabs, Kate, Sam Cedar is king, and should really change that name, man. That's kind of cringe, to be honest with you. I mean, you do you, boo, but I'm just saying. Of course, Miss Jimmy, hanging out as always. Screw Google too. Thank you, everybody. We'll try and do this again next week. And do it again. Let's see. So probably we're not gonna have ExtraBulla live this week. I've got some technical issues I need to figure out before then. But we should be up and running again for the secret show this Saturday night at midnight, right after all your favorite Saturday night shows. Oh, you're not gonna change it? I didn't think you were still here. I thought maybe you dropped off. Okay. Maybe like Sam Kinison is king. That would be a cool one to name. Maybe I'll change it to Jamie Peck as queen. Okay, that's a good compromise. Anyway, but thanks everybody. I really appreciate it. I look forward to these shows with you guys and talking about it. You seem to be digging it too. Hopefully, as the channel grows, we can talk more about this stuff. And you know, I love talking about this weird, out of this world kind of stuff. You know, all these secret mysteries and stuff that nobody knows about. It's really cool, and I like sharing it with my pals. But anyway, enjoy. If you're watching the Oscars, good luck with that. I'm just gonna read about it tomorrow. I don't really give a shit. Probably gonna pop in a movie or something, and enjoy life because life's too short. Anyway, thanks for everybody coming out. I enjoy these stories, and you know, be on the lookout. You never know what's happening in the world beyond. And everybody's got stories to share, so please share them with us. It should be fun. Take care of yourselves. Have a great night. We'll see you in the coming week. Peace.